What's good? It's your boy JayThat'sMe. We're going to get into AEW Revolution from March the 9th, 2025. This show was way too long. Tony Khan doesn't understand that less is more. He needs to understand time management as well. It makes zero sense that this show went out the air at 12:05. That's dumb. That should have never happened. 5 hours? No, that's not good. I get we're in LA, so basically the crowd probably got out about 9:30 at best, maybe. LA time, West Coast time. So yeah, but for those on the East Coast, 12 midnight, no. Tony Khan has to do better with managing his time. He really does. And there were a couple matches on this show that should have not been there, and they felt like Dynamite matches or Collision. There was like 3 of them on this show. So, before we get into the review, Layla Hirsch, Nick Camarata, and Abaddon have all been let go from AEW. Not released per se, but their contracts were not renewed. So that's fine there. I'm pretty sure there'll be more AEW departures to come, for sure. As AEW is trying to quote-unquote change itself, but it won't change until Tony Khan is removed from power. That's just what it is. I'm pretty sure Abaddon could probably do well in TNA. Nick Camarata, he could probably go to either WWE or TNA. And Abaddon, no, not Abaddon, but Layla Hirsch, I could see her in GCW or NWA or even MLW maybe. I don't know. All right, let's get into the 0 hour. Didn't watch it, but just want to talk about it real quick. Hologram and Commander, they defeated Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. The Undisputed Kingdom, How the Mighty Have Fallen, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, and Daniel Garcia, they defeated Shane Taylor Promotions, Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, and the Infantry. And then Big Boom AJ and the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe, they defeated Johnny TV, which is Johnny Impact, John Morrison, Johnny Mundo, and MXM, which is Mace and Mansoor. I'm sorry, Madison. My bad. Mason Madden. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. I feel bad for Johnny. I really do. Him and Taya, they need to get out of AEW like nobody's business and go back to TNA. Please, Johnny, get the hell out of AEW. Please, bro. You're too good to be in there. You're too good, bro. Damn. All right, let's get into the show. First match of the night, Hangman Adam Page defeats MJF. Match was okay. They ended up doing a tombstone spot towards the middle of the match. And so Hangman got tombstone on a steel chair. It was folded up. We thought that he was going to get counted out, but it didn't. He didn't. It ended up being a WWE finish, basically. So, MJF, he gets upset. He starts bitching and moaning like, why don't the fans love him and everything else? And why does he get the cheers and the adulations and I get boos and everything else? So, basically, Hangman, he hits the Deadeye. Then he hits the Angel's Wing on behalf of Christopher Daniels. And then He hits MJF with I think the second or third buckshot lariat for the 1, 2, 3. Hangman Adam Page wins. This is fine. This was fine. It makes sense. It is what it is. The reason why Hangman won is obviously because it's going to be Hangman and Moxley at Double or Nothing in May. So that's why he won there. Same thing with, spoiler alert, Swerve beating Ricochet. That's why it's going to be Swerve and Moxley at Dynasty on April 6th. So, there's that. All right. This is fine there. And it was pretty cool to see MJF come out with Hangman's old theme music. That was pretty cool there. I enjoyed that. But what happens, my bad, what happens with MJF going forward, nobody knows. I think he needs to just, change his gimmick and everything else. So, yeah. Moving on. Mercedes Moné, she defeats Momo Watanabe. She taps her out with the Moné. My bad, with the statement maker. It is what it is. This should have been on Dynamite or Collision. That's just what it felt like. All it was just a bunch of meteors everywhere. Mercedes did the three amigos like she always does. Frog Splash. Momo got in some kicks and everything else. So, there's that. It doesn't matter. I don't care about this. Who cares? Moving on. So this leads us into Ricochet versus Swerve. Swerve defeats Ricochet. He's now the new number 1 contender. He wins via 2 house calls into the big pressure for the 1, 2, 3. Makes sense here. These guys went ball to the walls, kicks, flips, and dives, as both of them can do very well. Ricochet ended up hitting a 630 in the match. They ended up doing a wicked table spot where basically Swerve did the Hernandez finish. I forgot what it's called, but he ended up doing that on the announce table and everything. There was a point in the match where Prince Nana left. He got pissed off. He flipped off Swerve and he left. He was able to get back the robe and everything else. So, this is fine. It does make sense. So, post-match, Swerve and Nana, they embrace. And then Swerve presents the embassy robe back to Prince Nana. So this is fine, but I still think that probably in due time, this is all going to be a ruse as to where Prince Nana is going to turn on Swerve. It makes really good sense for whatever reason. It's just common sense at this point. Obviously, we know that Swerve is going to be fed to Jon Moxley. Moxley's not losing that fucking title until All In. So we have to wait 4 months for that shit to happen. But it is what it is. Oh well. But we all know, or you should know, that it's going to be Swerve and Moxley at Dynasty. So that's fine. Because Dynasty is basically in 4 weeks. It's like April 6th. So, yeah. Moving on. Another match that felt like it should have been on Collision or Dynamite. Brody King versus Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada defeats Brody King via the Rainmaker for the 1, 2, 3. Who cares? It is what it is. Not that important. So, whatever. This match should have never been on the card, really. Along with Mercedes Moné and Momo Watanabe. Watanabe. Those 2 matches should not have been on the card. And you probably would have trimmed this show down a good 45 minutes. Another match that shouldn't have been on the show, but it was okay, and that being the Hurt Business. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. They defeated the Outrunners, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd. That's fine. It makes sense, but again, this could have been on either Dynamite or Collision. Take your pick. It doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit either way. Moving on. So this leads us into the Falls Count Anywhere match. Timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May for the AEW Women's World Championship. The Hollywood ending. It's a Falls Count Anywhere match. So basically, it was weapons galore. So the match started off insane. So basically, Luther he gets kicked in the dick. Then he also is tased, so he's out of the match basically. So Toni Storm powerbombed Mariah May through a table. They ended up bringing out weapons, obviously. They did this one spot where both of them did. They picked up their gloves, and they had a champagne bottle. I mean, broken champagne bottles and stuff. And Toni Storm ended up hitting Mariah May in the lip per se, and that's how she was busted open. Toni Storm got busted open off of a power driver on the outside, on the steel steps. There were steel chairs in there. Chains were in there as well, but they didn't use those really. Mariah May ends up hitting the Mayday on the steel ramp at the top. So Toni Storm kicked out of that. And then the finish was where Toni Storm, she hit the Storm Zero through the table for the 1, 2, 3. And that's how she retained. This is fine, I guess. Not really all too much into this shit. It felt kind of indie. I know people are going to praise the shit out of this, but again, I'm over these hardcore death matches. It's very GCW-esque, and it's quite annoying. I get it, but why so much damn blood? I forgot to mention that Toni Storm also, she hit Mariah May in the pussy. No, my bad. Mariah May, she hit Toni Storm in the vagina. Yes, she hit her in her pussy, in her yoni. Yes, that did happen. That did occur. Wild, don't you say? Yeah. I also forgot that Toni Storm ended up using the shoe. That's how she busted up Mariah May some more. So, this is fine. It does make sense. Their feud's over with, but what do you do with Toni Storm heading into Double or Nothing? What do you do? Because she should not defend her title at Dynasty. That wouldn't make any fucking sense. I don't know what you do with her. I would say you do Mercedes Moné, but they're probably going to save that probably for maybe All In, maybe? I don't know. It seems like they're building towards Mercedes and Athena, a.k.a. Ember Moon. But who wants to see that shit? Because Ember Moon has been non-existent for like 2.5 years, even though she's been tucked away on Ring of Honor television. Who cares about that shit? It's non-existent, like I said before. I don't know, man. But, it is what it is. Some people have mentioned Jamie Hayter, but I don't know if I like that at all. I don't. It is what it is. Moving on. Kenny Omega, he defeats Tenosuke Takeshita to become the new AEW International Champion. He wins via roll-up. So these guys went balls to the walls. Knees, V-triggers, elbows, blue thunder bombs, German suplexes, Snapdragon suplexes, Frankensteiners, Hurricane Ranas, drop kicks, Don Callis getting his sorry worthless ass involved. Yeah, the works. So, again, this was fine, but we knew it was going to be a Power Rangers fight scene all throughout, and that's really what this shit was. It was an okay match. It was good, but we knew that they were going to go balls to the walls with this, and that's what they ended up doing. So, yeah. Forgot to mention they also used the table as a weapon throughout this match as well. So Kenny, quote-unquote, sold his ribs. Again, I'm still trying to think. Well, I was thinking that Kenny Omega was going to change his style when he came back after being, taken out by diverticulitis. But he's still going like nothing ever happened. So, it is what it is. It seems like they'll probably end up doing a second match. So probably either at Dynasty or at Double or Nothing. I would just save that for Double or Nothing. Because clearly they're going to combine the international title along with the continental title. At some point, that's what they're looking to do. So obviously it's going to be Omega and Okada number 6 at All In July. But I wouldn't do Omega and Takeshi. I mean, my bad, Tenosuke Takeshita at Dynasty. That's a little bit too early. I would just wait till Double or Nothing in May. That's what I would do. Moving on, Will Ospreay defeats Kyle Fletcher in a steel cage, and I wanted to bang my head against the fucking wall because this was more Power Rangers fight scenes times 25. That's what this shit was. I swear to you guys, that's really what this shit was. It was blood. They used screwdrivers, steel chairs, barbed wire bats, just the works. Both guys were busted open beyond belief. Kyle Fletcher licked the steel cage. Kyle Fletcher licked Will Ospreay's blood. Will Ospreay licked Kyle Fletcher's blood. It's just a bunch of vampire, satanic sacrifice bullshit that was going on in this match. Oh boy, this stuff is for the fucking sickos. Ugh. Oh my god. Oof. Shit. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Mark Davis, he gets involved towards the middle of the match. He gets bolt cutters. He's able to get inside the ring. He gets his ass kicked by Will Ospreay and everything else. I mean, literally, you could drop Will Ospreay from Mount Everest and he would still kick out at 2. It's just like, what the hell? Like, this guy is like Super Cena times 50. Like, what the fuck? And there was no selling in this match at all. No selling at all. Oh, boy. Oof. So, Will Ospreay wins. Who cares? I guess at this point, you should have him go after the AEW World Championship. Presumably, I'll make this prediction. I'll make this bold prediction. Ospreay's going to be champion by the end of the year. So either by Full Gear in November or by World's End in December, Will Ospreay will be champion. I guarantee you that. Mark my words. He's going to be world champion. Main event of the evening, and the crowd did not give a single fuck, and I was right there with them. And really and truthfully, the main event should have actually went on first, honestly, for being honest. And that was Jon Moxley defeating Edge. Oh boy. So Moxley retains the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. He wins by choking out Christian. So yes, Christian Cage finally cashed in his Money in the Bank contract. You might as well just go ahead and call that what it is. He ended up signing it. Moxie choked him out. Edge and Moxie were wrestling sluggish and very slow. Very boring. So, Bryce Ginsburg, or whatever his name is called, whatever his name is, The referee, who's too animated, along with Aubrey Edwards. Those two are the worst referees that AEW has to offer. He took a ref bump, and, Wheeler Yuta came out. He hit the Busaiku knee on Edge. Jay White came out, made the save. The two of them, they brawled backstage. Edge was able to fire back a little bit. He hit Moxley with not one, not two, but 3 spears. Edge is about to go for the pin. Christian yanks out Edge's leg to break the 2 count. To break the 3 count. He cashes in. He signs the contract. It's now a triple threat. So, Moxley ends up locking in the Bulldog choke on Christian Cage. He puts his hand on top of Edge to try to pin him, but to no avail, because Edge, kicked out at 2 or whatever. And then Moxley just put Christian Cage to sleep, and that's how Moxley retained. And that was it. Who gives a fuck? So basically, post-match, Swerve was like Spider-Man, just looking down on LA, and then out of nowhere, he did a Swerve stomp from the balcony, taking out Moxley. And Swerve celebrated, and that was the end of the show. A little bit too long for my liking, but it is what it is. AEW pay-per-views, they continue to be long and boring, and this was no different. There were a couple matches on the show that I did like. Hangman and MJF, they did very well. That was a pretty good match. I did not care about the main event. That should have opened the show, and you still would have gotten the same result. It wouldn't have mattered, but you still would have gotten the same result. You should have main evented the show, actually, with Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. That's what you should have done. Even though I don't care about either guy, it's just the truth. It's just the fact of the matter. Kenny Omega and Takeshi, they did okay as well. I mean, that was fine. So obviously, this is going to lead to a second match, probably either at Dynasty or Full Gear. Either at Dynasty or Double or Nothing. Probably, presumably Double or Nothing. Swerve and Ricochet was pretty good as well. That was okay, but it's just a bunch of, indie stuff. So, it is what it is, man. AEW, they need help. They really need help. And I don't know what to say. I did like Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May. Their trilogy was pretty good. Just a little bit too much blood, though, for my liking. Not really into all the hardcore indie shit like most of these fucking AEW neckbeards online are. I'm over that shit. You're running a professional wrestling company, not a fucking indie company, but that's what AEW is. It's just a high budget level indie. That's really what it is. / New Japan ripoff. That's what it is also. So, yeah. But what did you guys think of Revolution? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.